The Department of Defense spends about $1 billion annually developing directed energy weapons, such as high-energy lasers and high-powered microwaves. These weapons can disrupt or destroy their targets at the speed of light. For example, DoD has developed high-energy lasers that have successfully shot down drones, but speed isn't their only advantage. They're also less expensive per use than traditional weapons like guns and missiles. Despite those potential advantages, DoD has had trouble getting these technologies out of the lab and into service. The Army has developed a detailed transition plan to support moving these weapons into the next stages of development. We recommended that the Navy and the Air Force develop similar plans.
If you happen to see green lasers in the sky, not to worry, it's the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers conducting coastal surveys. And they're being done using a contracted aircraft equipped with a light detection and ranging system. The lasers are used to measure distance. Residents near Oahu south-facing shores between Barbers Point and Diamond Head might see those broad beams of green light across the night sky. It'll happen between midnight and 5 a.m. from Friday, April the 28th through the 30th. Officials say brief exposure to the light is not harmful to the unprotected eye.
Did you know that there are 2 sites in the U.S. that have these directed energy weapons? One is Nevada and the other is Maui. Let's start with this directed energy Air Force Maui optical and supercomputing AMOS site located on the island of Maui. May I quote from the website? Listen to this. Directed energy harnesses the power of the electromagnetic spectrum to enable airmen to effectively and affordably strike critical targets at the speed of light. Question, why Maui? Answer, it's a new smart grid in Hawaii dubbed the, quote, Jump Smart Maui project.
So I went around back to Front Street and all the cars were lined up, but none of them were moving. And I walked all the way from Safeway to the chart house, not one car had moved. And I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. And I got to the end and I looked up, there were no obstructions, there was no reason to keep those cars. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm under orders to keep them here. And I said, the fire is right around Safeway. It's going to hit Front Street. You know, these people got to get out of here. And he said, I'm following orders.
No way.
And so I just kept walking. Well, maybe he knows something I don't, you know. So, and I keep walking down the highway, and I look behind, no cars are coming out. Still no cars coming out. And I started hearing boom, boom, boom.
The state-owned outdoor siren system is a tool that we can use, and we've used in the past. However, in a wildland fire incident, the system has not been used, either in Maui or in other jurisdictions around the state.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. The public is trained to seek higher ground in the event that the siren is sounded. In fact, on the website of the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, the following guideline is provided. If you are in a low-lying area near the coastline, evacuate to high grounds, inland or vertically to the 4th floor and higher of a concrete building. Alerts may also come in the form of a wireless emergency alert. Had we sounded the siren that night, we're afraid that people would have gone Mauka. And if that was the case, then they would have gone into the fire. And so that is the reason why our protocol has been to use WEA and EAS. By the way, I should also note that there are no sirens Mauka or on the mountainside where the fire was spreading down. So even if we sounded the siren, it would not have saved those people on the mountainside.
A pain and suffering has turned to anger for some residents tonight after national news reports saying FEMA workers have turned the tragedy into a vacation. Our Jolani Martinez joins us now with the details.
Steph, those reports came out just yesterday on Fox News and the Daily Mail. Evacuees say it's upsetting to see photos of federal employees in five-star resorts, knowing homes in Lahaina were burned to the ground.
FEMA booked themselves into five-star luxury Hawaiian resorts.
These photos making national news headlines, calling attention to FEMA workers on Maui in what appears to show them relaxing in five-star hotels, at the cocktail bar and at a registration desk at the Grand Wailea. Another photo shows FEMA workers on their laptops at the Fairmont Kealani. It's rubbing devastated Lahaina residents the wrong way as they deal with the deaths of more than 100 people and a historic community wiped out.
I feel sick.
Dustin Kaleopu lost his home in the Lahaina fire.
So they're seeing government employees or government volunteers staying in these luxury accommodations, being funded by taxpayers. That's where a lot of the frustration comes from.
A FEMA official we spoke with does not deny they are staying at five-star hotels and that taxpayers' money is paying for lodging for employees and survivors, but says it's not what it looks like.
FEMA personnel and responders are not here on vacation. We're all here for the residents of Maui and the survivors of this terrible incident.
Daryl Habish says instead of the $1,000 a night rate, FEMA is paying hotels the government rate of $345 a night. Whatever the cost, political analyst Colin Moore says these are difficult times.
It's jarring to see these images of the people who are there to help staying in these luxurious surroundings. I understand the outrage. It's also important to remember that there's a per diem for the amount of money that government workers traveling can spend. Obviously, alcohol isn't part of that. The amenities on a resort aren't part of that. They're there to do their job. And
more than 1,000 FEMA workers are on Maui, and more than 2,000 evacuees are also staying in hotels and other housing.
FEMA personnel